Hi, in this video we're going to be taking a look at how to set up iCloud on all your devices. So we're going to be looking at setting it up on your Mac, your iPhone and your iPad. I have done a more detailed article on the site ultimateguidetomac.com which talks about all the highlights of iCloud and some of the things that you can do with it and its features. So if you don't know too much about iCloud, I suggest you go over there and take a look at that first. It's ultimateguidetomac.com. In the search box, just pop in there what is iCloud and the search results will come up. You can click on one of the links and you'll be taken to all the details. So in this tutorial, this is all about setup, not what about iCloud is. So the first thing you'll need to do on your Mac is you will need to open up your system preferences. There's two ways in which you can do that. You can either go down to your dock and choose system preferences. If it happens to be in your dock, one click and that'll open up system preferences. Or alternatively, you can go to the Apple menu and then choose system preferences from the menu. So let's do it that way. Another window will appear with all your system preferences. These are all the settings for your computer. But the one we're most interested in at the moment is the one which says iCloud. So if you click on that once, it brings you to this screen. Now, if you already have an iCloud account, you could obviously just pop those details in, but we're making the assumption that perhaps you don't have an iCloud account. So what you would need to do is you would need to create an Apple ID. So you click on the link here. You'll need to be connected to the internet, of course. And you have the steps 1 of 3 to create your account. It's very, very simple. So if I select my location, which is the United Kingdom, and then a birthday, I shall make this up. This isn't really my date of birth, just so you know. And then the next button appears. So you click on the next button. And then you have a couple of choices. You can use an existing email address. So let's say you didn't want an iCloud address. You already have an address. Let's say, for example, I had the email address chrisyates@yahoo.co.uk, for example. I could use that as my iCloud ID. But for this purpose, what we're going to do is we're going to get a free iCloud email. So in there, I would put my name. Now, the likelihood is that this won't be available. In fact, I know Chris Yates at iCloud is not available. My iCloud ID is chrisjyates@icloud.com. So that's actually my email address at iCloud. So if your name is, for example, John Smith, it's unlikely you'll get the email johnsmith@icloud.com. You'll need to be a bit more imaginative and come up with something else, because it's likely that name will already be taken. Once you've filled in these details, remember this will be your Apple ID, so you want to make it something memorable and perhaps easy to give out to people when you're telling them your email address. Put in your first and your last name and then put in a password. Details here must be 8 characters long, include a number, an uppercase letter and a lowercase letter. So you'll need to put in your password and then put it in again to verify it. Keep up to date with Apple News. If you leave that tick, then you'll get emails from Apple talking about news, software updates and information. Turn it off if you don't want that information. I'm not going to go through to the third step because I already have an Apple ID, so I don't want to create another one. But once you've filled in these details, the next button will appear. It won't be faded out like it is now. You can click on that and go through to the next step. And that pretty much completes creating your Apple ID. It's very simple. So let me go back out and cancel out of that. I'm actually going to put in my own Apple ID. So once you have your Apple ID, you'll come across a screen which looks similar to, well, not similar, it will look like this, okay? And it says, do you want to use iCloud for contacts, calendars, reminders, notes and Safari? Just leave that tick for the time being. And the next one down, which is use Find My Mac. I've gone into details about that on the previous article I spoke to you about, so if you haven't already seen it, pop over to ultimateguidetomac.com and take a look at the what is iCloud article. I would suggest you leave that ticked and then click next. Allow Find My Mac to use the location of this Mac. Again, I would leave it ticked. If you misplace your Mac or you lose it, this will be the way you should be able to find it on a map. So I would say yes to that. Okay, so the next screen that appears is this one here, and it's all your applications that will sync with iCloud. As I mentioned in the article, when I wrote the detailed article I wrote about iCloud, you can mix and match what applications you want to sync with iCloud. Let's say, for example, mail. You already have a mail address. You don't want to be syncing iCloud mail with your devices. So what you can do is you can just untick that, and your iCloud mail won't sync with those devices, and it's the same with all the other applications. So if you didn't want to sync your notes between your Mac and your iPhone and your iPad, you would just untick that box. So as I say, it's all about mix and match. You choose what you want. In my case, I have everything ticked other than mail and back to Mac. Everything else I have ticked. Okay, let's just have a quick look at PhotoStream and the options available, because there's an options button here. Now what it says here is automatically download new photos from iCloud and upload photos you add to your PhotoStream from this computer. I would leave that as ticked, because then everything just happens in the background. You don't have to worry about it. If you start unticking things, you'll wonder why some of your photos aren't appearing or why things aren't syncing, and it's purely something as simple as you may have just unticked a box, not that it's not working. Shared photo streams. Create photo streams to share with other people or subscribe to other people's shared photo streams. That's entirely up to you. You can share photo streams with people, perhaps your family or anyone, pretty much, for that matter. So you decide whether you want to share the photos or not. You're not sharing all your photos, you're sharing the ones you choose to share. So again, this is up to you. Do you want to leave this ticked or unticked? Then you click OK. Now that's pretty much it. That's how you set up iCloud on your Mac. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to quickly go through how to set it up on the iPhone and the iPad, which are very, very similar in process. And then I'm going to talk about, show you or find out whether or not you've set it up correctly and everything is working as it should be. I'll see you in a bit. Okay, so now we're going to talk about setting up iCloud on your iPhone. Now, rather than do an iPad version as well, this works exactly the same way on your iPad. So if you're using an iPad, just follow the same instructions and it'll work in the same way. So the first thing you need to do is you need to choose your settings, and then you need to scroll down and find iCloud. Now, to set up your Apple ID, it's similar to that of a Mac. You can press on the get a free Apple ID. So if I just tap on that, you choose your birthday. So it's kind of the other way around on an iPhone or an iPad. So I'm just going to choose, again, any old number. And then once you've chosen that, click the next button at the top, and then just pop in your name. And then click next. So again, you can use your current email address, as I previously mentioned, or you can get a free iCloud email address. So I'm going to say get a free iCloud email address. And again, you would then type in the iCloud Apple ID or the address, the email address you would like to use for iCloud. I'm not going to go through all the details, you just keep following through the screens. It's very similar to the Mac version. And once you get to the end, you can pop in your Apple ID. So I can just pop mine in here. And pop in the password. And then just click sign in. It will verify your account. And then it will ask you, would you like iCloud to use the location of your iPhone? Again, similar to the Mac, if you misplace your iPhone or you lose it, then this will allow you to try and find it through iCloud on the web. Again, I've gone into details on that on the more detailed article, so take a look at that first. So my suggestion, I would say yes. So there you have it, very similar. iCloud is now set up on your iPhone. It's done. You can again choose which items you would like to sync or applications you would like to sync. Again, I'm going to turn off mail and leave on everything else, including notes. So I'm going to turn notes on. and it will just do its thing while it connects to the internet. And again, photo stream. Do you want to turn photo stream on or off, and do you want to have shared photo streams? Exactly the same as the Mac, so it's very, very simple. Storage and backup, I will go into that at a later date. We don't need to be going through that now. So that's it. iCloud is now set up on your iPhone and you are good to go. So now what will happen is your iPhone, or if you were doing this on your iPad, or if you have an iPad, do exactly the same process on your iPad, and everything will now sync between all your devices. So what I'm going to do in a second is I'm just going to show you how you can just confirm that your iCloud has been set up and that everything's syncing nicely. So be back in a bit. Okay, so now you've set up all your devices, we're now going to confirm that they work and check everything is syncing as it should be. So the first thing we're going to do is I'm going to navigate to my notes, and I'm going to create a new note. So this is a new note. Okay, and I'm going to hit done, and that's it. Now what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go to my Mac notes, which is on my dock here. If I click that, and there we go, this is a new note. So if we look at the time, 15:22, and we look at the time here, 15:22, that's exactly the one I just wrote. So what I can do now is I can add to this note, like so. And as you see, this one has updated too. This is a new note, add to this note. So as you can see, everything just syncs in the background. It's all just working. So if that's happening for you, that's good news. That means iCloud is working and everything is syncing. That will also be on your iPad as well, presuming you set up iCloud there. Okay, so let's try something a little different. Let's go to photos. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take a photo with my iPhone here. And I'm going to take a picture of my screen. There we go. Okay, so and then what I'm going to do is I am going to show you my iPad, and you'll see that that photo that I've just taken will sync with my iPad as well. So just bear with me while I pop this on. Okay, so there's my iPad, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to navigate to my photos, and then if you click on the photo stream, so the one along the top, where you've got photos, photo stream, albums, events and places, as long as you're on photo stream, you can then click on the photo stream button, and as you saw, it just appeared there. So the photo that I just took is now on my iPad. Okay, so there you have it. That's how you set up iCloud. If all your devices are working as I've shown you here, then you're good to go. Everything will be syncing in the background. So I hope you found that video useful. Please leave a comment below. Don't forget ultimateguidetomac.com, share it with your friends, and I will see you in the next video. Cheers, bye.